Good morning. Whoa. uh, okay, you ready for this one?
Yes.
I want a 3-word answer. What is this market we're in? That's 2 words. You know where I'm going. Complicated,
Yes.
complex, and competitive. Does anything make sense? Brian and Nancy just put up 2 listings in their farm. They've been working on for a long time. Lots of research, put them on the market. One was 910, one was 920. These are 1970s homes. One was even updated. They went on the market. A hurricane came through and they sold within 2 days of being on the market. Below floodplain, who knows? Does that make any sense at all? No. What else? You're just saying, Jimmy, Joe had a listing, didn't think it was going to go, but it was in the 250 price range.
Yeah, he had a listing at 250, had like 5 or 6 offers and went 16 grand over
Over asking. And then we've got other houses that are sitting on the market for 60 days, 70, 80, 90 days. So what is it? What market are we in? It's complicated. We're at micro markets all over the place. And it makes our job even harder now. I just talked to Thomas. We had an agent who went inactive last year, didn't want to pay their board dues. And they just put their house on the market in my neighborhood for sale by owner. You all know that if you have your own personal property, we have a $1,500 flat fee. That's all you pay to list your property, right? So this guy went FSBO, surrendered his license. One FSBO is going to miss all the maximum exposure of the century. When you see all the leads we're getting, it's way more than last week. And we're getting more leads. We just had a freaking hurricane. I talked to a friend of mine. I walk with sometimes in the morning, and she owns a mobile home park in Manatee County. She's full. I said, well, why are you full? All the insurance adjusters and all of the roofers are all renting RVs and they're staying there because there's so much work and so much money being made. All right. And then my answer was, when the market went south of the hurricane, oh no, nobody's want to buy it near the water anymore. And that ain't happening because they're all coming up because we have a lack of what? Houses. And if you were a betting man, are you going to live in, don't know, God, I'm not saying this. You can live in Fort Myers or Tampa. The last 2 swipes went straight to Fort Myers. And I'm not forecasting that's the way it's going to be forever, but you know, it's the way you look at things, right? So let's go into our quotes and see where we go. But remember, it's complex. Don't say it's crazy. It's complex, it's complicated, and it's competitive. And it is. All right, I'll just take off. This is Mike Ferry. As we enter the 4th quarter of 2020, we skipped the whole 4th quarter thing, right? Why? That friggin' Ian messed up a whole week of our business, crushed the end of the 3rd quarter. It just destroyed it. But when I show you the stats for this month, it looks like whoopee, yay. So good. So we're entering the 4th quarter. Let's use some of the following thoughts to keep our focus at a high level and as importantly, our schedule and our work ethic strong. The biggest problem we've had is 4th quarter traditionally after 30 years of doing this. I'm sorry, but we screw off. Halloween comes, you can't even go to it. And then there's Thanksgiving, and then there's Christmas Eve, and there's Christmas Day, and then you got to get ready for New Year's, and there's all the holiday parties, and all that stuff happens. And the activities of a real estate market are dependent on the activities of the agents in the market. So when we screw off, the market doesn't do as much, and the public does the same thing, right? So I like this one: be humble, be hungry, and always be the hardest working person in the room. This is our time to shine, and I'm not making this up. Most people are going to screw off more than you. So if you screw off less than everybody else, I'm not telling you not to screw off. We're all going to do it. But if you screw off less, or if you actually plan some days and work those days, you're going to outshine everybody else because they're not going to have a schedule.
Along those lines, there's a really cool quote that I heard. It said, I'd rather be the warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
I like that.
So show up, prepare, do the things even if you're going to screw off, at least be somebody who's prepared, who's got their schedule, who knows exactly what they're going to do, when they're going to do it, has their goals, the things that you're working for. Because even while you're screwing off, you can still be the professional. And like Thomas did one day when he was sitting at the bar after taking a boat out, runs into somebody and he ends up selling him a $2 million home.
Yep. Be there or be good. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their future. What habits are we creating for ourselves?
Better business habits.
That's exactly right. Defeat is not the worst of failures. Not to have tried is a true failure. Right. And essentially, we're planning a really new and different next level university right now. And it's hard because we're so programmed to do it the way we've always done it. And we're trying to mix it up. But to not have tried is the true failure. So we're going to try to do something really different and cool, which is going to delay us again, but we'll get there. If you realize how powerful your thoughts are, you would work to never have a negative thought again. I follow the Hay House group. Yeah, Louise Hay. She died. It would have been her 95th birthday 2 days ago. And they gave out a free audiobook that she's giving out. And I'm listening to that now, and it's just about right about that. If you just realize how powerful your thoughts are. I mean, she's talking about example after example, how people heal themselves and they go from broke to rich and from single to in a relationship. And all these problems get solved because they change the mindset, right? That's what Chris talks about a lot. And then 5, the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but a lack of will, which is why we spend a lot of time focusing on our primary aim, because that drives the will. If you know what you're working for, right? Very cool. All right. So I just mentioned XLU. It's too early to report these numbers. It drives me crazy because today's the 7th, but you guys didn't turn in contracts till the 6th, and we don't upload Dash until the next day. And then so the numbers are just not right. But here's where we are based on what we have. It was actually, I meant to say up 236 listings in inventory. We were at 229 last week. So we got 7 more listings. Not bad after hurricane, so I'm not going to complain about that. We have 11 new listings on the market. We had 20 sales in the first really 7 days because you can't count the last 3. We had 16 closings for 190,000. And then pending by 9:30, there's 162 closings scheduled for another $2.1 million, which adds 2.1 to 190, which is 200. We're looking at a $2.3 million month, which is friggin' amazing for an October. And only 20 of those are past closings. So I'm going to give you a high five and say thank you for extending your closings, because they were supposed to close on September 30th. You must have extended them, or they would still be September 30th in my report. And there's only 20 out of 162 that are there. So that makes me feel really good.
I would also assume that probably at 5 to 7 of those already have something that was turned in that didn't
Just
make
haven't-
the sheet.
it's
So
in the
that's
overnight.
Probably about half of that. So you guys did an awesome job considering there was a hurricane. Thank you so
Mhm.
much for doing that, protecting your sellers, protecting your buyers, making sure we get that in writing. That's awesome.
I was doing my wizard. Well, I got the stage here. I'm going to get my wizard article real quick, and I've got it in my inbox. So where am I? Okay. So sales meeting times looking great. Because Jimmy has sent this out already as a way for you, or made it available for you, right? And we're going to see that in just a minute. This is an important topic for me, and it's really a huge benefit. There's to the Florida tax, to living in Florida. So property tax alert. Don't make fun of that. I don't have my glasses. It's fine. So today I'd like to call your attention. This is a public facing article, and I don't care if you take my name on and put yours on it, but these are important things for you to talk about. The walk I did this morning, this woman, she says, I wish I had known you 2 years ago. She says, I haven't filed homestead on my house yet. Well, what's happened to our house in the last 2 years? It's a 50% increase, right? First, let me start by saying that Florida has an exceptional property taxation laws. We really do. Not every state has this, and I want you to know that. Yet it can be confusing to newcomers to our state. Allow me to explain. One of the benefits of property taxes in Florida is called homestead exemption. A property owner who has full-time residence in Florida is allowed to claim the homestead exemption. This exemption primarily allows three things to happen. One, you get a $50,000 deduction off the value of your home. That's a big deal. If you're a $200,000 homeowner, you can only be assessed at $150,000. So it's about a $700 savings on your tax bill. So that's nice. Number two, your assessed value property cap is capped at 3% a year. I had to go to the dump. You took me to the dump the other day, and I brought the wrong tax bill, but I brought the one that showed that I had paid my taxes, but it was a 15-year report. And my taxes went from 11,000 in 2007 to 10,000 in 2008 to 9, to 8, to 8.5, to 8.2, to 7, to 6, to 7, to 8, and I'm at 8 now. So next year, I can't go up more than 3% of 8, which is $240. That's the most my taxes can go up. But my assessed value is down to $500,000. So I can't go up more than $15,000 over the course of the next year. That's a huge savings. And then just for fun, because I was in the mode, I went to the property tax assessor's office and said, what would it cost if I bought my house for $1.5 million? $22,000 a year. So the poor consumer is looking at Craig's house is only $8,000 a year. What a bargain. But they're going to buy it and you're not going to have that conversation with them and they're going to get whacked with a $22,000 tax bill and you're not going to be their favorite realtor anymore. So it's an important message. That's basically what I said here. And then you get the portability, which gives the owner the right to take their accumulated Save Our Homes tax benefit. And it showed me on my report, I've got $500,000 in accumulated Save Our Homes benefits. So if I can go buy another house for $1.5 million, I'll have assessed value of $1 million, which is a lot better than the other guy, plus my $50,000 for homestead exemption. Right? Yep. So to offer an example, let's say a couple A bought a Florida home in the year 2000 for $200,000 and they filed for and obtained a homestead exemption. It's a simple process that can be done online in most counties. In fact, most closing agents remind you about this at closing. To be clear, the status of the property on January 1 determines the year the property becomes eligible for the exemption. So the woman I talked to bought her house after January 1. So she couldn't say that she owned the house in the beginning of the year. So the first year was a loss. She forgot to file a homestead the second year. So now she's going to file this year, so she'll get it in 2023. That's going to be a very costly mistake for the next long period of time that she owns that house. If the property was acquired on January 2nd or later, they can't file homestead until 2001 because they didn't own the property. So they have no homestead benefits for 2000, but they can apply in 2000 for 2001, which will give them the exemption, the assessed value cap, and the portability. Property values boomed in 2005. So let's say this $200,000 house is now worth $350,000. The owner with the homestead assessed value would be capped, not allowed to increase more than 3% a year. So 206,000 for 2001, 212 for 2002, 218, 225 to 231 in 2005, right? And then what a nice advantage for that Florida resident. But here comes the confusion. Couple B buys this home for $350,000 and they've been represented that the taxes on this house were only $4,000. And that's what they were. And then they get I just made these numbers up. And then they get a trim notice saying, hey, your tax bills for this year is gonna be $6,000. And that's an extra $2,000 hit, that's not a $200,000, $300,000 home. That's a big portion. It's $200 a month when you look at it. All right. So, and then I take my closing remarks, but that's a really important example. And go look at your house and see how long you've owned it and what it was capped at. It's a fascinating story. And you go, wow, I'm really lucky. All right. So that was it. Okay. So next is up is we have Paramount Title. We have Megan here.
Good morning.
Good morning. We got
I just
this week, but I don't want to steal our thunder.
that's what I was just going to say. I want to remind everybody about our class on Thursday. It is with Claudia. It is regarding 1031s, so it should be nice and interesting. Some really good information. So I'm excited for Thursday. And then I just also wanted to remind everybody about our Fan Agent One app. If you guys need net sheets for buyers or sellers, that app is there for you guys to use. It is a great tool to use. It is much more than just net sheets. So if you guys ever want to go over more than like see what else is in it, just get with me. I'll go over it with you guys. If you need something and that app is just not working or you can't get to the app quick enough, just call me, shoot me an email. I'll get it to you. Turnaround time is really quick.
Hey, kudos to you. I accidentally sold a piece of property to a friend of mine and he is not tech savvy. He couldn't figure out .loop. He couldn't figure out email. He says, I really don't email. Text me if you send me an email because I don't check it very often. I'm like, what world do you live in, dude? But anyway, I got him he was in Tennessee on vacation. I got him to sign the contract on .loop and I got him to log on to Paramount ptitlefl.com and make his escrow deposit right there
On Bay Road.
from his phone. That was awesome. And then he came to the
Yeah.
office and we needed to print something for him and Rose had to get a check and we had to give it so he went back to reverted to his old ways. But it was really simple to do. And it was really
Yeah.
nice to know how to do that. So cool.
Yeah, very handy. All right, I will see everybody on Thursday. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
for all your help, Megan. We love you over here.
You're very welcome.
1031s are important. Joe, have you done a couple? You've never done one? What's the basic premise of a 1031? You've done 3? Yeah, I'll give you the long story very short. The government says, do you guys know real estate's very important to the government? To the gross domestic product of this country? Yeah, to their economy is kind of based on real estate. So if Joe buys a building for 500 grand and he sells it for $1 million, he's going to pay $300,000 in tax and he's only going to have $700,000 to reinvest in the economy. The government says, whoa, you know what? If you'll play this game with us, we'll defer the capital gains tax on that property and you can go reinvest the entire $1 million. So as an investor, am I going to get a higher return on 700,000 or $1 million? $1 million. If $1 million goes up 5%, that's 50,000. If 700 grand goes up 5%, that's 35,000. So what's better? So they want you to reinvest so your returns are higher. But there's some rules to these games, and that's what we'll learn on Thursday. Now we're going to recognize the top agents, and they're in my inbox too. Let's just see. Oh, from Susie. There we go. I'm going to go in no particular order. So this is going to be, I should make this smaller now because I can get everything in there. Okay, Julie, you're up. The Gulf Beaches.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. I reached out to everyone at Madeira Beach and Indian Rocks Beach offices and asked them to share anything that stood out about a listing or a closing or a contract that they took, something that we could share with everyone, a learning point. And I have not received one thing from anyone. So
That's a crime, guys.
Yeah.
Really, if your manager calls you and you don't call them back, what's going on with the public?
yeah. So in just keeping up with what we keep talking about with our new agent archetype superpowers, all I can do is call out and say for Indian Rocks Beach, we have Bob Dean, Danielle Salgado, Mindy Smith, Roger Leyland, Blake Gore, Randy Schuster, and Joelle Torres all coming in with one listing for the month. And then Bob blew it out with 5.5 open sides for the month and for top closing agent. Bob, we talk a lot about him. He is just a very social. He talks to everyone. He's a networker. As we all talk about all the time, we can't express enough how important it is to talk to people. That is how he gets almost all of his leads, past clients, and just Bob doesn't know a stranger. Amy
5.5
Bowles
deals in a month is a lot.
Yeah, Amy Bowles comes in with 4 closed sides for the month. Amy has very a big drive. She has a lot of drive. She's very analytical. So she's always out there networking, making calls, and she pays attention to the details.
Nice.
Yep.
Congratulations to our Beaches September winners. It's a tough competition group. Company team.
Sure. So for the company, the teams, we usually have Team Imagine and Team Crawford dueling it out. There's usually a mix and match here. This month, Team Imagine swept all the categories. They had 2 new listings for the month of September. They had 5.5 open sides in the month and 1 closing. So congratulations, Team Imagine, and just keep on doing what you're doing. Team Crawford, step it up. We need some competition.
That's right. South Tampa, Mr. Diener.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm really excited about our winners this month. Lisa, over the years, I'm a big believer in keeping in contact with your past clients, as you well know, and it kind of rubs off on everybody else. And Lisa this month had 2 listings. One was a past client, and one was a referral from a past client. So, keeping in touch with your past clients is a big benefit in our business. So my hat's off to her for that. Susie had 4 sales this month. Again, all past clients. She has been rocking it with them. She had 2 listings and two sales.
2 listings, 2 buyer sales.
Yes, exactly. And all 4 were past clients. And a big congratulations to Susie. She has made Centurion for the year. So everybody send her a text this morning and congratulate her. She has passed the goal before the 4th quarter, which is awesome. So Mike has 3 closed sales. Mike is our commercial guy here. And these are things that he's been working on for a long time. And Nicole, top commissions for the month. These are deals that, she works with New Legacy, the builder, and she and I were laughing this morning. She goes, they were 8 months ago. I said, they're like having babies. You sign them up and then you wait a long time for them to close. So she had most commissions this month, and congratulations to Nicole for an awesome job.
Great job, everybody. And Mike's got a really big piece of land in Ruskin that's getting ready to close, I think.
Yes.
Madeira Beach separate.
All right, back again. So we have Tammy Vasquez and Maria McNeil coming in with 2 listings last month. Maria did relate to me that she has 6 transactions that she worked on last month. So she's been a busy lady. She very pays attention to detail, has a lot of drive, very social. She has a big sphere. Always working. Tammy, same, a lot of drive, and always social media, talking to people, networking. Tammy also came in with 4 open sides for top selling agent. And then we had quite a bit of a run there for top closing agent with Russell Miller, Maria, Regina Catton, Mandy Kaplan, Janie Coates, and Prudy Cole all coming in. And then Russ Miller took top closing agent. He's been with us for quite a long time, and he used to work out of the Tampa office, bought a house over here in Treasure Island. So he moved over here to the beaches, and we're really happy to have him. He's a top producer and always working very hard.
He's a door knocker with a smile.
That's right.
So the prevalent theme here I'm seeing is 4 or 5 deals it's taken to be in the tops. So what separates somebody doing 4 or 5 deals from somebody saying, oh, the market sucks? What's between
Drive.
South Shore. Nope, wrong one. Labeled wrong anyway. This one says South Shore, but it's the right link. Okay, let's go on the list. Kathleen.
Hey, good morning, everybody. There's a common theme here. These folks on the board, they
Always
talk
on
to
the board.
everyone. They talk to past clients. They still do farming. They talk to everyone. I know for a fact Martin reached out to past clients and he got most listings. Well, there's a tiebreaker here. Most listings for Shelley, Martin, and Yvonne.
And Nicola.
And we have somebody, and then we have somebody new on the board, Nicola. He talks to everybody. He's out there farming. He's out there with the newsletters. This guy is relentless. He is a converter. He is a prospector. He's a marketer. He does it all. Same thing with Delia. She's right now, she's over in Peru, and she's still talking to clients and turning in deals through her phone. So for most listings, we have Shelley, we have Martin, and we have Yvonne and Nicola tied. And most closed units and most closed commissions, we have Delia. The common theme again is talk to everybody. That's what you see over and over again.
That's it. And then okay, it's gonna be this one. So Thomas, you're up.
Good morning, team. So for most listings, we have Andy Simmons for one. Top selling agent for most open sides is Lauren Fletchman for 5. I have a story behind that one. And top closing agents, we have quite a few of them. Andy Simmons, Amy Camasso, Natalie, Lauren, Andrea, and Brenda. They all closed 1. And for most gross commissions is Andy Simmons. So I spoke to Lauren yesterday. I said, Lauren, give me a, I don't
5
know.
deals a month is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to all, and Lauren, to get 5 open sales in this season is excellent. I have to take my, give you a high five on that. But she had a client that in the past that needed some help. They have this if some of you have kids, you probably remember this animated movie called Robots, and it says, see a need, fill a need. And this individual needed some additional closing costs. So Lauren helped her out with closing costs. And we talk about full circle. This individual happened to introduce her to a lender who does renovated sales. And that individual neighbor had wanted to list their home. So she goes to the lender and she says, I want to list my home. Who should I list it with? Should I use your realtor? She's like, no, I have a great realtor that you can use. And it was Lauren. So that helping that individual with those closing costs came full circle. And that lender, husband and wife, are flipping homes. So they also going to be able to give Lauren some listings. So guys, if you do good, it's always going to come back tenfold.
Well, what do we say a customer relationship is worth?
130 grand.
Over the life of our, as long as we do a good job, right? Put a lot of-
Correct.
So you do a good deed and there's a deal and this is a flipper. And Chris, when you got started, you got really lucky with one investor who did, I don't know how many deals with you.
Yeah. When I got started, I was farming, and my neighborhood that I lived in found somebody who needed to sell their home. The lender they were using turned out to be an investor. So me listing their home and me helping them buy their next home got me connected to the lender they were using, who turned out to be a pretty big investor who would do 20 to 40 deals with me and list them with me. And I brought opportunities to him, and he bought homes with me over 3 years, just from farming and getting in contact with him and doing a great job. And it started out with, you did an awesome job for them. I really liked how you stood up for them, even when this went that way. Let me give you an opportunity. I'm going to throw you an opportunity. And then from one came another and another. So same concept. The secret to living is giving. So give the best service you possibly can, and you're going to get an amazing opportunity back from that, especially when you don't have an expectation.
Terry Kelly, you're up.
All right, thank you guys. Crystal Booth was the top listing for us. She ended up with, I had 3, but I think she actually had 4. She closed 2 of them. Kathy Allen had a couple of listings. And Cheryl Rodeau had the most closed units. She does a lot of the Op City leads, the different source leads. She's really good at converting. And just to go get her, Ashley Diaz, she had I think she ended up with 3 closed units. Taylor Cullen, Marquita, and Carlin, they all actually were very aggressive on their sphere of influence, and they're, basically just reaching back out and checking on people.
Yep. Congratulations, BE3 agents. Now, oh, sure.
All right, for the South Shore offices, Apollo Beach and Sun City. And in Apollo Beach, for most listings, we had 2 listings with Kelly Foreman and Jackie Pope. Both came in with 2. Heidi Seddon and LaShunda Mangum both opened 3 sides in the month of September. Kalani Heyman closed 6 sides in the month of September, and she brought in most closed commissions. And she will tell you she's online Zooming because she's still working from everything that came from that month. And she did over $100,000 in gross closed commissions in that month, her best month ever. And that was one of her goals. I'm going to beat my best month ever this year. And she created that and made that happen. Also on the list, Jackie Pope with 2 listings. This girl is a prospector. She is out knocking on doors. She loves knocking on doors and farming. She doesn't care. She'll go talk to anybody. This is the one that I told you about a couple of months ago that got really excited when she came in and said, "Why are you so excited? I found out one of my sellers, one of the guys died." I'm like, "What?" She goes, no, not because of that. I've been calling him and he hasn't called me back for like a month. And I thought I did something wrong. And I found out that he had just passed away, and his sister, who now took over the estate, said, "Thank you so much for continually checking on him. I'm going to give you the opportunity to sell his home. Please come by and take a look. You're the only person I would trust." So that was just amazing and awesome. But she's also out there knocking on doors. That's where her listings are coming from. She's out making it happen, talking to people. So awesome job, ladies. Then in Sun City,
Come on, guys.
in Sun City, we have Robin Bennett, Sandy Tams, and Dick Wilson, all with 2 listings. This is just a consummate professionals. These people have built a business, have built trust, and have built this over time from continually talking to people, following up with people, and creating these opportunities. So most listings, 2 listings in the month of September for all 3 of them. Then Robin Bennett swept the rest of the categories. 4 open sides in September, 5 closed deals in September, and then most closed commissions was with Robin Bennett as well. Congratulations to everybody on the tops list. You guys are doing awesome. So you see what it takes. But 2 to 3 listings, 4 to 6 open sides, and anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000 in closed commissions, and you're going to make the list. So I would say make that one of your goals over this quarter, to be on the top producers list. I know every single one of you that I talk to that says, "I want to be on that list." Jackie Pope, "I want to be on that list. I want to be on that list." Well, this is her first time on the list. So congratulations. Awesome job. But that was a goal of hers. I want to be on that list. And she got out and made it happen.
Here's a secret. That's what we do those lists. Because now they're getting invited to the top agent luncheon, which we haven't picked the place yet. But once you get invited to the top agent luncheon, it's just we just screw around for the afternoon, and it's fun. And then you go, I want to be invited to the next one too. Right. And I've had many agents come up to me and say, "Damn it, I can't."
I stayed off
You bet
social
to me.
media all day because I got tired of seeing everybody posting pictures about where you were, and it pissed me off because I didn't get to go this time.
But I'm not going to let it happen next time. So that's the subtle motivation we try to empower, educate, and encourage. All right. I'm going to cover some inbox items. Some of the stuff is cool. Some of it's not. Most everything's opinion. I shared an article with the managers yesterday from Realtor.com, and it was the chief economist of Moody's. And he just dumped on the real estate market and said, everything's going to suck. It's going to be brutal. You're going to be dragged through the mud. Expect a recession worse than before. Home prices are going to drop double digits. And I started reading it and analyzing it. Homes went up over 30%. If by the end of 23, they come down 10%, aren't they still up 20%? I mean, I'm not that bad at math. His article kind of didn't lean that way. Prices are going to plummet possibly double digits. So if they went up 30% and they dropped 10%, you're still up 20%, right? Unless you bought in 2022, and then you're kind of a little bit off centered.
But you also have to remember that, like, for our area, we have some of the greatest appreciation. So over a 3-year period, we've gained anywhere from 50 to 70% on the value of your homes. If you gain more, typically you have a little bit more to lose. But even if we lost 20 to 30% of the value we've gained over the last 3 years, you still have a 40% gain, 50% gain in the value of your home, even if we lose 20 to 30% over a year.
And what's the alternative? You're renting. So take away the difference, the depreciation. That's a huge thing for your tax return. Take away your mortgage interest tax deduction, the appreciation we just lost as the market crashes, and take away your flat fixed payment at whatever low interest rate you had at the time, and go back to a renter. What's happened to rents over the last 3 years? It's crazy. You can't rent a house. You can't rent a house for less than you can buy. I'm not saying that right, but you know what I mean? Okay. So let's put Zillow ahead. Zillow's, I'm a little more favorable on these days. So Joe Gate is my Zillow guy. This is for sale inventory. So 2019, we had more inventory. 2020, it dropped. 2021, it got to the worst. We started at the worst. We started adding inventory to 2022. I like graphs because they show a picture that you can then interpret, right? So where are we with inventory now? About on par with 2020, which was still the second lowest inventory we've had. So that's pretty good. The typical US home value was unchanged in September from August, likely reflecting a response to a late summer drop in mortgage rates. So Zillow says typical US home values have been unchanged. Everybody else in the news is saying they dropped. So I don't know what that means. Home values continued to tumble, though, in many formerly hot markets, including Phoenix. Look at the tumble. What's your definition of tumble? 2.3%? 1.9%? 1%? 0.9%. And Austin, one of the hottest markets, their prices tumbled less than 1%. It bleeds, it leads, right? Active inventory climbed to 3% above a year ago levels. So there's 1.5 million houses. Now there's 1.5 million, 3%, 1,545,000 houses. That's it. It's like in the nation. Home buyers are paying more attention to flood risk, but not other climate events. This didn't make sense. In census tracts with higher risk of flooding, denial rates for home purchase applications are slightly higher, controlling for income of applicants and property value of applications. Home values in areas of high flood risk continue to grow faster than in other areas. So I don't know if that's a typo or what they did. And then, but other climate risks, fire, drought, heat, and storm seem to have little impact on mortgages. You know, no matter where you go, you know, the hurricane, everybody thinks Florida got wiped out. But doesn't California have wildfires that are pretty damn scary? Aren't there tornadoes throughout the Midwest? Aren't there landslides in Colorado? Aren't there all kinds of other natural disasters that happen everywhere? Hurricanes just get a lot of attention because everybody likes to watch the devastation. Home buyers are paying more attention. We did that. Mortgage rates volatile, roiled by geopolitical events. That chairman of the United Nations is appealing to the United States Federal Fed to stop raising rates because your country's strong, we're not. And when you raise your rates, we have to raise our rates, and you're going to throw us all into recession if you don't stop what you're doing. That came out in the Robinhood report. Markets are swiveling between the Fed's current restrictive rate policy rhetoric and the potential for a Fed pivot where hikes to the target funds rate would be less severe in the event of slowing economic activity. See, and this is a problem because my economic report that I read every morning said, absolutely, you're going to see another 75 bips up because of something else. And this guy's saying maybe not. And then the Mortgage Bankers Association reported that mortgage applications last week fell to the lowest level in 25 years. All right, and I can see why in Florida that would happen because we had a hurricane last week. Reflecting a challenging housing market where buyers face affordability obstacles and low inventory. Economic data last week showed continued strength in labor markets and a key inflation measure, PCE, still well above the Federal Reserve's target level. So Zillow's got a pretty good outlook on what's going on. Yeah, actually, I got to go back to this page anyway. They're all starred. So that's Joe down here, Susie. Oh, Easter Seals. They're doing a book drive. I think you've all gotten emails on this. Let's swamp them. Let's go to Amazon and buy some books and just have them sent right to the office, right? It's just 1, 2, 3, whatever you feel like donating, but there's a whole list of the books they want. And once again, Easter Seals is our corporate charity. We donated, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of Century 21's existence. We're the #1 Century 21 giver to Easter Seals in the state and have been for years. And little things like this are just so, look at this. How many people already clicked on it, right? So buy some, let's just fill up their coffers and have some fun with it. Don't need that anymore. Boom, boom. We do put a lot of thought and effort into these training classes. So I know a lot of you can't make it all the time. So Angelique has done a really nice job sending out the recaps. And these get edited and shortened. She takes out the jump, the stuff in the music and all that stuff at the beginning, and then it's all there. So if you ever got some spare time, watch it. Training recaps. I said, I promise. I just took the first 5 real satisfied surveys that were in my inbox, and I'm just gonna play them for you. This is no. Louisa in Brandon was very helpful, encouraging, and responsive in a time when the market was highly competitive. I recommend her. Random. Great job, Louisa. Bob Dean has given me outstanding top service, not limited to selling only the right property I was looking for. Moreover, he helped me as a foreigner. I am from Europe to guide me through all the different processes and paperwork needed and supported me much further. Example, and set up insurance, electricity for the property. I can only express my deepest thank you to Bob for such a $1 million service he gave me at any time. Bob Dean is an excellent top person knowing his business at its best and has an excellent feeling for customers' wishes and their needs. That's what people like. That's why I'm sharing it with you. But I'm so proud of all of you because I randomly picked these and just there they are. Lauren Fleischman. Lauren made me comfortable with the sale of my home right from the very beginning. She was very knowledgeable about the market in my area and getting the property sold for the best price and as quickly as possible. I would definitely recommend Lauren to all of my family and friends. That's what we're striving for, right? That's the $130,000 over the lifetime of the relationship. And then the fifth one, this was Celeste Chrisman. Celeste is the best. How many times have you heard that? Many, I'm sure. Celeste was very available and responsive to all of our calls and questions at any time. They value your responsiveness. She truly is a full service realtor, especially important when dealing with repair service people for a remote sale, as ours was. She always went the extra mile and never pressured us to make a quick decision. We had a positive experience with Celeste and would not hesitate to recommend it. So I just think it's awesome that, and you guys are all getting just like this. I really have to go through 50, 60, 70 to find a negative one. And it's pretty awesome. I want to call out Jimmy. You want to talk about the, we're not going to show them because the first one's 4 minutes, but.
Just take a look at last week's tech tip of the week. You have the the October Wizard article. I sent you the how to do it, pull it up through August because it's the same exact way. But basically what you're looking at is the Wizard article is available as a Moxie presentation that you can send out. It's also available in PDF for you to print, and it's also available as an e-blast in Moxie Engage that you can send out. And then finally, if you really want to go crazy, I have on my website, I now have a blog that I'm starting to put all of Craig's monthly newsletters on the website as a kind of a blog format.
I think Mike has one on a blog on seasonalvegas.com too.
The other thing I wanted to call out, I've had a lot of agents asking for this, new listing preview presentation and buyer presentation available in Spanish. So thank you, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
For helping out with that. We definitely appreciate that. We have some more things coming also to kind of help because we know there's a high percentage of Spanish speaking clients that are out there. So we want to make sure that we can deliver on all aspects. So make sure you take a look at that. You'll be good to go.
Nice. And then, okay, this is important. Jimmy's already talked about this once, but system-wide launch of MoxieWorks is well underway. The following products are not going to be replaced. Zap is going away. We're already seeing problems with my lead routing reports. Century 21 Business Builder will be dead and replaced with Moxie Engage, and Toolkit CMA, which was a good program, is replaced with Moxie Present. So it's time to, your cheese has been moved. And if you don't, you all know that book? We talked about that in a long time.
But if you're someone who is stuck in your ways and this is how I do it, this is how I've always done it, you have the ability to pay for those services if you still want to, but why would you? The brokerage and Century 21 provides you with Moxie and all the tools that you need. But if you're someone who really liked Business Builder, you still can pay for that. And if you still like Toolkit CMA, you still can pay for that directly through their service.
Coming to the end of my inbox. So .loop is going to go through a 2-factor authentication, and it's not going to be optional. So you're not going to be able to access .loop unless you go through the process. We'll walk you through that. I'm sure Jimmy will do a video, but just know that's coming, and we have to, your cheese is just being moved all the time. So it's not a big deal. It's just like your email, your Gmail, your C2MB email has 2-step authentication. If you log in, it says, here's a text, get your number. So it's going to do that to .loop too. And as cybercrime is big. We actually went ahead and bought $2 million worth of cyber fraud insurance for the company now because we're just getting hit way too often. I just want to remind you, this is my daughter, of course, but she got this listing and she's got a database set up in Moxie. So she went to Moxie Impress and she created a just listed flyer, pretty simple. Nicely done. I'm not saying this sold the house, but that house listed and sold in 2 days. Right? And it made her look like a professional. And that's what the Moxie president says. It's going to make you look more professional to people you already know. So if you remind your sphere that you got a listing, you just became top of mind. And then the medium is the message. If you send out a piece of crap looking document, that's the medium and that's the message. I'm a piece of crap. If you send out a nice professional looking flyer, you're a nice professional looking realtor. And I bet that took her, because she's pretty competent, a minute, maybe, and then send. So it's that easy to do, but you got to get engaged into the program. And then we did that. Pepper sort, Jessica, Marco Wizard, we did that. And that's all I got on this list. Now back to the agenda. And I'm not going to call those out today. Leads from 116 last week to 186 this week. Century 20 is still blowing us out of the water. It's funny, my brother sent me a note, says, I haven't gotten any leads on any of my listings. And I went to Lead Router and I checked on his name and he's had 3 in the last 2 months that were directly from Harbor Condos to him. So it made me question, and I'm not blaming you, Jeff. So does he have the Moxie phone number in his phone? Because Lead Router is no longer working for you. So if you think you're getting your leads, did he comment? So make sure your Lead Router number is pretty much deleted now, because you're not going to get any calls from it, and make sure you know that Moxie is going to be calling you, right? And you all have a clean slate on Moxie too, for now, right? So it's going to go through, and it's if Lana doesn't answer her lead, it's going to roll to another agent, and the system's going to call somebody who's available.
It sends text messages too.
It does, syntax, that's right. Okay. Okay. Okay, and so reloads. Oh, Ashley, give us the news. Tell everybody what a great job they've done with you. You were at the ARA conference last week, and where was that again?
Cleveland.
Yeah, why do they take you places like that? I don't know. But
Oh my God, it was so fun. It was Seth Young that was like the host office. He's the best. We had a private dinner at a yacht club, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with, private party with Mike Meadler and all the whatever. But number one, thank you all so much with your outgoing referrals. We've actually won this. Look, I kept it on my desk.
nice.
It's coming to your office soon. It is the 21 Club Award winner for American Relocation Alliance. So
Most
they
outgoing
are
referrals.
outgoing referrals. Yeah, absolutely. And they're an amazing organization. The most content and value I've ever gotten from anything. And I'm going to be vice president this year. So
Yeah, so
that's
what that
exciting.
means, Ashley is out networking other Century 21 brokers saying, hey, if you have anybody moving to Florida, call us. Right. And the reciprocation of that is when we have somebody, we go to Ashley, and Ashley has all these friends around the country, and they say call us to her. So she networks and builds these relationships. So she gets your referral, she places it with somebody she knows, a feather goes in our cap as a company. And then when they send a referral to Florida, they send it to us. And that's how the thing grows. That's part of her job. And she travels a lot. So American Relocation, what are some of the other networks you're in?
ERC, which I'm not going to this week.
Employee Relocation Council.
Yes, and that is part of Relocation Director Council, which is I'm also a part of. Yeah, we what's really cool about it for you guys is the exposure, because people will send us stuff because of what an amazing company that we have and leadership. So thank you all very much. I appreciate it. One thing that I really got, okay, so Mike Meadler came to our
Mike
ARA
Meadler is the
conference.
president of Century 21.
Crazy, right? Like no president's ever shown up to one of these. It's all Century 21s. But one thing that I really took away from him was his 121 math. So 50% is attitude, right? And he's talking about showing gratitude within the attitude. So with the 3 people each day, a body in motion creates emotion. So keeping that going and hang out with winners. And then 50% is skills, improve every single day, which is exactly what you do here at Beggins. And then action is 21%. So it's just the focus, clear on time management is a big thing, and like on the activities that make you money. So
Very nice. Cool.
thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations. for
Thank
the
you.
team. Yeah, I sent Ashley a congratulations and she goes, it wasn't me. It was you guys. But it's really, a
No,
team.
it really does come from the leadership, ownership, leadership to management, to the agents, to your clients. So whatever I can do to help you guys, thank you so much for your continued support.
And that's just a simple part of when you're meeting customers, mentioning the fact, hey, if you have friends that are moving elsewhere, let me know. I can help you place a referral. And people who ask that question make an extra 10, 15, $20,000 a year just because they bring up the question. All right. Birthdays this week. Manana. Lorena's birthday's tomorrow. Jeannie Gleason's birthday's tomorrow. Christy Roll in the Apollo Beach is tomorrow on the 14th. Silas Crispin, our award winner from Sun Cities, on the 15th, along with Jimmy Lemert from Sarasota and Martin Demoski from Sarasota. And then we have Han Bautista and Kim Booth from Apollo, a lot of Apollo Beach birthdays this week. And then Elizabeth Salavera from South Tampa. So that's our birthday list for the week. And I always put this in here just because I want to remind you that the Masters Ruby limit this year is 165. And with the increase in sale prices this year, I don't know how they're going to handle the sales price increase versus the commission decrease, but they're probably going to base it on NAR's average sales price increase. So you can probably expect for the 165 go up probably a good 10 grand next year. So if you want to do it, turn it around in the fourth quarter and get them closed. So you got 45 days basically to write something this year to get it closed this year. The end. Anything else for the common good? We've got one more chat here.
Yeah, when we're talking about homestead, I wanted to point out, we've got a really important constitutional amendment coming up on the ballot. And this is helpful for your firefighters, your teachers, EMS, child welfare services, active duty members of the United States Armed Forces, and first responders, an additional $50,000 homestead exemption. So that's a constitutional 3 amendment. That's really important. That really helps a lot of our community members. And I wanted to point that out because that's going to be a huge help for a lot of our clients, especially in areas of Tampa, Brandon, Riverview, Apollo Beach, strong military community.
Yeah, you have to be our legislative liaison because I don't study any of that stuff. That's good to know.
I do.
Cool. Anything else for greater good? Okay, I think Sarasota's going to break off their own meeting. Mid-Year Beach is going to break off their own meeting. We're going to, yep. All right, guys, happy Tuesday. Thanks for your attention today.